What's wrong with the Wii U? Everything. If you enjoyed this video, click that like. But in all seriousness, the Wii U was supposed to be the first of the next-gen consoles, and not only did it sell poorly, it sold horrifically. To put it in perspective, the Wii U and the PlayStation Vita have similar sales numbers, and people make jokes about the Vita. The Wii U is just as bad, which is why Nintendo was quickly to announce that a new console was already in development, and by this time tomorrow, the Wii U will be but a relic of history akin to the Virtual Boy. But how? How could Nintendo, coming off one of the fastest selling game consoles of all time, go downhill so quickly? Simply put, Nintendo did not have a clear direction for the console, and it started literally from the beginning. Section 1, The Beginning. E3 2011. Reggie Fils-Aimé announces that a new console is on the horizon. Now the trailer isn't poorly made, it does make the concept of having a screen in your hands have merits, but that's also the red flag. The entire trailer only shows the controller. Not to mention, half of what is shown on the screen is conceptual footage based on Wii titles. This doesn't look like a new console, it looks like an add-on for the Wii. It's called the Wii U for that matter, do you still need a Wii to play it? I mean, if it just took 10 seconds to show the console and maybe discuss the internals, it would have caught the attention of gamers a bit more. Literally, the Switch trailer made it a point to show the console sitting next to the TV. It adds so much to describing what the console is going for. Just watching the game transition off the TV felt instantly simpler and more understandable than the Wii U trailer. They also barely discussed actual games. Even in later trailers, most of the games that were launching were sequels and ports. The new titles were things like Nintendo Land, which does take full advantage of the console, but it isn't a full game, and Zombie U, which was just Ubisoft saying, "Hey Nintendo, we got your back, we always support your new consoles." And much like Red Steel was for the Wii, it was a forgettable game. How are fans supposed to get excited when the hottest title for your console is New Super Mario Bros. U? Yes, that is one of the highest selling games for the console, and it's literally just another 2D Mario game. But surely there must have been better games to come, right? Section 2, The Decline. So the crazy thing is, the Wii U did fly off the shelves on launch day. This is Nintendo, it's to be expected, but within months did sales instantly begin to decline rapidly. Like mentioned, it had no games. Not bad games by any means. Okay, except Mean Run, that didn't help matters, but games like Pikmin 3, Splatoon, Super Smash Bros., and Mario Kart are all fantastic, but they can't keep a console afloat. Now this was common for Nintendo, they never aimed to have strong third-party support. The Wii didn't have all the same games as the 360 and PS3, and the GameCube barely focused on having multi-platform games. Sure, the Wii focused on other demographics, kids and, well, Nintendo fans, and the GameCube wasn't actually a huge success either. But at least it had a cult following to support it, and had nearly double the sales of the Wii U. The Wii U could have had the same following as the GameCube. Again, Nintendo fans go crazy for everything they release, but they couldn't even keep their core audience happy, as fans not only didn't buy into the hype, those who did began to sell their consoles. Truth is, there wasn't a lot to play. The core Nintendo titles were just so spaced out from launch that people got bored, and Smash should have been a solid system seller, but they also put it on the 3DS, which really shot them in the foot. For one, fans didn't need to buy the console to play it anymore, and two, fans could pass judgment before even considering investing in a new console. And games like Splatoon and Super Mario Maker were great ideas for games as they're new and different. They don't work as system sellers though, because new IPs are tough sells if buyers don't own the console. It's risky to buy a console for a game that has no background information. The best system seller was probably Pokken, because it's a solid premise. People like Pokemon, and people wanted a fast-paced Pokemon game, just to get a mix-up from the turn-based combat. Let's be serious, everyone goes crazy for Pokemon, but they messed up again when the game had no substance and poorly handled online. Heck, the whole console had poor online. Miiverse was a novel concept, but it doesn't warrant nor work as an online service if you can't make a party or voice chat with friends in 2012. 360 and PS3 players were already voice chatting since 2005, and PC players since well before then too. There's just nothing of value to the Wii U, and it all boiled down to Nintendo rushing to say, oh well, hey, we've got a new console in the works, so get excited again. Yeah. And this was the final nail in the coffin. Section 3, the early farewell. The literal moment Nintendo announced plans for a new console, no one wanted a Wii U anymore. I mean, they didn't before, but even potential system sellers like Smash 4 couldn't be system sellers because those who were on the fence about the Wii U had more reason to stay there, and that speaks volumes for the Wii U's failure. If longtime Nintendo fans were willing to wait over 2 years just to learn anything about the successor, it really must have been underwhelming. That's like not buying a PS3 just because you would assume that there's a PS4 and it's gonna be better. Like, yes, obviously there's gonna be a console after it and it's gonna be better, but is it worth waiting 4 years for it and not having the new console? In the Wii U's case, it was totally worth waiting. After the announcement of the unnamed new console, just about all new Wii U games were just trying to squeeze the last bit of sales out of the console. HD ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess? Not bad ideas, but hey, a quick way to make buck off suckers who still own a Wii U, right? Even new games like Paper Mario Color Splash and Pikmin 3, which aren't bad again, are going to be easily forgotten like they're an odd spin-off or something, like the Wonder Swan. Anyone else play that thing? Man, no one played the Wonder Swan? It's a real slap in the face when just about everything about the Wii U is outdone by the Switch, and nearly all exclusives for the Wii U are being ported anyways, with no backwards compatibility for that matter. It's like people who waited are really getting the last laugh. It's weird, the Wii was a commercial success, obviously, but it didn't actually live up to the hype. The whole, it's like holding a tennis racket idea really fell through and just turned into a small flicks of the wrist. But that still sold exceedingly well because what it wanted to do was fresh and novel enough to be purchased. Nintendo always being the cheaper console made it really worth the money. The Wii U wanted to look next gen without actually being next gen. The specs were barely on par with the 360 and PS3, and those were last generation. And the novel idea of having a screen in the player's hands was okay, but not nearly as recognizable as a remote being used as a sword. As silly as Skyward Sword was at times, it at least worked and made sense from the player's perspective. The second screen was essentially an expensive quick access menu for Zelda games or a $100 minimap. The idea is cool, but no one dared risk using it to its full potential, and for good reason. The system had no sales, and Nintendo Land pretty much covered all the basics anyways. To build a full game off of these concepts was a waste of money, and heck, owners of the console realized that they wasted their money too, which is a real shame for the fans who try to defend it. Casuals didn't get the system. Hardcore gamers just didn't want it. Fans were willing to wait for the next console, and developers didn't even want to attempt to make something that pushed the system's unique functionality. The Wii U had potential, but it was so poorly handled and marketed that every party involved, from fans to casuals to developers, just couldn't bring themselves to support it. Even Ubisoft, the ones who are first to make a launch title for Nintendo's wacky and zany consoles, just couldn't support the Wii U and ported Zombie U to other systems. And that's an odd thing, isn't it? Everything that the Wii U's groundbreaking handheld screen brought to gameplay was just so needless that it was able to be taken out of the games that were designed around it. Like, people don't realize that the Switch won't try the whole dual screen thing, since the screen needs to be in the console to be playable on the TV. So the Wii U's cool functionality is still unique, it just didn't last. Tomorrow, Nintendo fans around the world will clamor for the brand new Nintendo Switch, and the 13 million Wii U owners will forever regret having bought such a horribly marketed and horribly planned system in a case of extreme buyer's remorse. That is what's wrong with the Wii U. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos that discuss infamously panned video games, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.